Okay, hi everybody, good evening. I would welcome you to my kitchen. I'm in the bedroom. It's 11:41 right now, and the brisket has been on the grill for 2 hours. Right now my pit temperature has been fluctuating quite a bit. It's been fluctuating almost 20 degrees. It's showing that the pit temperature is 282 degrees. That's not what my egg is saying it is. I'm gonna go check it in a few minutes here. The probe that's sitting in the brisket right now is reading 138 degrees, which seems a little bit high to me for being only 2 hours and as big as the brisket is, but it is very possible that that's the actual temperature. Now, it is going to hit a fairly lengthy stall at about 160 degrees. So I'm going to stay up probably until about 4 a.m. with it just to get it through the stall, and then I'll take a short nap and wake up and keep checking it. So that was just the update for the brisket. I'll be back later to give you another update. Okay, hi all. I'm back. It is 12:30 a.m. and I checked the brisket. The brisket is at 154 degrees right now, and it only needs to go to 205 to be done. So in about 6 more degrees, I'm going to pull it off and wrap it in the butcher paper and put it back on the grill and see what it does. Now, this brisket doesn't have a bark on it at all. And I think I realized where I screwed up with this brisket, and that was the fact that I did not, when I put a rub on it, I didn't put a lot of rub on all of the meat, and I should have fully covered it. I should have actually used the swamp bottom that I'm used to. That's actually what's going to give your brisket a really, really nice bark color. Now, because the brisket's at 154 already, what's this going to mean for tomorrow's dinner? Well, at this rate, the brisket's going to be done a lot quicker than I anticipated it being done. I'm just going to have to let it rest for a couple of hours, slice it, and then I'll end up putting it in the refrigerator and we'll have leftovers tomorrow. Which actually probably is not a bad idea, considering that tomorrow is supposed to be 94 degrees, and then it's supposed to get much hotter later in the week. So we'll have some good sandwiches with the brisket. But the next brisket I do, I'm going to do it the right way. I jumped the gun on the time that I put it on the grill, and I probably should have waited until I got up in the morning and just put it on the grill, knowing how fast this is going. So anyway, that was just the brisket update at 12:30. It's been cooking now for 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. I'll give you an update when it hits 160 degrees. Okay, hi all. Welcome back. Obviously I'm still in the bed. It is 1:11 a.m. The brisket is at 163 degrees already, which means it should, in 2 more degrees, hit a stall and needs to be wrapped. So I'm waiting for it to hit 165. I'll go get it, wrap it, and put it back on the grill. It just needs to get to 205 degrees. Once it hits that, the brisket's fully cooked. A few things that I might have mentioned in the little bit earlier segment that I filmed. One, I don't have a good bark on this brisket, and the simple fact is I messed up big time when it came to putting the rub on it. I put the wrong rub on it, and I didn't use enough. I should have coated the entire brisket in a rub versus the Lawry's garlic salt. Live and learn. It's still going to be a great brisket. It's going to be done a heck of a lot earlier than I anticipated. And Unfortunately, at this point, there's no way to stop the cook time or to prevent it from going into the full cook cycle. So, what I'm going to do like I said, once it hits 165 degrees, I'm going to go pull it off the grill. I'm going to wrap it in butcher paper. I'll put it back on the grill for a few more hours and watch it. Once it hits 205 to 206 degrees, it'll actually be done. So, I'm not going to be able to film the brisket coming off the grill when I wrap it, just because my husband did go to sleep and it is 1:15 in the morning. I may, if I remember, I'll bring my phone down. I'm going to be really, really quiet, though, as not to wake him up. So, that'll be a little bit later, but that was the update. The brisket has now been on 10, 11, 12, almost 4 hours. It's about 19 minutes shy of 4 hours, and it's already cooked to 164, which is a huge surprise considering this was a whole brisket. It should have taken about 8 hours to cook, and it still might once it reaches the temperature, which is now 164. I'm actually going to pull it at 167. You ideally want to wrap your briskets between 165 and 170, because that's when it'll hit the stall. Do you need to wrap it? There's pros and cons to wrapping it and leaving it unwrapped. One con to leaving it unwrapped is the fact that if you don't wrap it, your flat brisket, if you're cooking the flat, can dry out very quickly and it can overcook. The point would be the more juicier of the pieces because it has the most fat on it. Could probably not be wrapped and render out that fat. But either way, it should still be a good brisket. So again, I'm at 164. I'm going to wait till it hits about 167 and then wrap it. So I'm 3 degrees shy of that. My pit temperature has been holding firm at about 264 degrees. Now, the egg itself is saying that it's only 190 degrees or so. It might even be cooler than that. I don't believe that. I think it actually is hotter. I just think that the charcoal hasn't fully gotten to the point. So, I'm going to wrap this up for now. I will be back in a bit with another update. Okay, hi, welcome back to my kitchen. I pulled the brisket off the grill. I'm sorry I'm not talking a lot, but this is the brisket and what it looks like. It hit a stall at about 165 degrees. Now what we need to do is we need to wrap it. it's been wrapped, we need to put it back on the grill. I'll take you guys out for a second. You guys may not be able to see me, and you probably won't see this part of the film, but you'll hear me, because I can talk a little bit louder. So, the brisket has been cooking for 4 hours now, and it's about to hit its stall. And at about 165 to 170 degrees is when you want to wrap it and put it back on the grill. So, Ice, come on. Icy. Sorry, my dogs are out here right now. So, I wrapped it in butcher paper and I just put it back on the grill. It needs to cook now until it reaches the internal temperature of 203. Once that happens, I'm going to pull it off the grill. I'm going to wrap it in aluminum foil around the butcher paper, and then I'm going to wrap a bunch of towels in it, and I'm going to put it in a cooler. So once that happens, I will be back and I will show you what we do next. Okay, hi everybody, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. I did a little filming when I wrapped the brisket, and you might not have heard me because I was trying to be as quiet as possible because my husband is asleep downstairs. So basically, the brisket got to 168 degrees, which is where it currently is. And anywhere between 165 and 170, you'll hit what they call a stall. And that's just, it takes an awful long time for the meat to break down and actually render the fat. So what I did is I pulled it off the grill, and you guys will see the video. It probably is not great because I did some filming outside and it's really dark. It's 1:38 a.m. right now in the morning, and the brisket has been on the grill now for 4 hours. Anyway, I took the brisket off, brought it in, wrapped it, and as you could see in the previous video of that the brisket unfortunately did not have a dark bark on it, and that's where the rub, if I would have used a more sugary, high content rub on it, it would have been better. It would have made a nice black, very dark, thick bark on it. This one's more of a caramel color. It is juicy. It's very juicy. So, I'm trying to explain what I did. I put the brisket, once it was wrapped in the butcher paper, it is now back on the grill. And you want to put it back on the grill because now the brisket needs to get up to 205 degrees. Now that can take quite a while because it will stall somewhere between now and 170. And the stall can be an hour, it could be 2 hours. It kind of depends on the temperature of the grill. So, I'm checking the grill about every half an hour or so. I'm going to monitor it on here. I may get a few hours of sleep once it hits the stall because it just has to push through that stall. So, once it reaches 203 degrees, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off the grill. I'm going to wrap the butcher paper in aluminum foil still on the brisket, and then I'm going to wrap the brisket in multiple towels, and I'm going to set it in a cooler. It needs to stay in the cooler for at least 2 hours. It takes that long for a brisket to reabsorb its juices so that when you cut it, it's nice and juicy. You never want to cut a brisket that's freshly off the grill because what will happen is it will toughen up on you and all of the juices will just flow right out of it and you won't have a juicy brisket. So once it hits 203 degrees, I'll pull it off the grill, wrap it in aluminum foil again and towels, and I'll stick it in the cooler for at least 2 hours. It can go as long as I have people that have said that they have had it go for 4 hours or more. It all depends on your cooler, what type of cooler you have to put it in. So, I'm going to end the videos for tonight. Unless there is an update within the next 3 hours, I'm probably going to go to bed or at least try to get some sleep. And I'll be back first thing in the morning and let you know how the brisket came out. So stay tuned. Okay, hi all, welcome back. It is now 2:31. The brisket has been on the grill for 5 hours, and it definitely hit the stall. It's only at 172 degrees right now. The pit's fluctuating a couple of degrees on both sides. I don't think it needs more charcoal. It's just going to ride this stall. And it's going to take some time. I don't know how long the stall is going to last. It could last anywhere from 30 minutes on up to a couple of hours. Hopefully it's quicker than longer. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know the update on the brisket. It's still wrapped. I have not actually checked anything on the grill except for the pit temperature, and as long as it doesn't fall or fluctuate too much, it'll just ride out the rest of the cook. So I will be back later and we'll pick this back up. Okay, hi all. It is now on Tuesday. It's Tuesday the 22nd. And I have an update for you guys. It is going on 4 o'clock. The brisket has now been on the grill for over 6 hours, and it definitely hit a stall. It's holding at 175. And unfortunately, oh, there we go. Nope, there we don't go. There we go. Sorry, the light keeps changing because I just have the TV on. So, I've been watching it. The pit temperature has held steady for the last almost 2 hours. And when it gets to 203, I'll pull it off and wrap it. And that was the update. I am going to try to sleep now, knowing that it's in a stall. Once it gets out of the stall, it should be smooth sailing from there. And I'm sorry you guys keep changing light thing because it's based on the TV. So, I'm going to bid you guys good night. I'll see you when I wake up in a few hours.